Okay, I'm going to hope that I don't sound as horrible over the mic as I do in real life, but we'll give this a bash anyway. Hello everyone, my name is Kikazi and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well, at least a lot better than I am. I want to start off by apologising that I was not able to cover the Hibernian and Celtic game. I was not well. I was throwing up the entire time during it and I was not able to be live simply because I wasn't very well. However, to try and counter-attack it, we're going to be doing like a quick rundown and review of it because I did watch the final 20 minutes. There wasn't really too much for me to really cover, even if I did live stream the game. You would have just seen me hunched over the chair, quite literally like this, just staring at the game. Not a single piece of soul left within me. But I did watch little bits of it, and obviously to refresh my memory from the parts of the game that are foggy in my head from being unwell, I watched the extended highlights too, so I have a much better rundown of the game than when I passed out essentially. But yeah, for those that don't know, Celtic and Hibs played at Easter Road. It was meant to be a good old-fashioned return to form game for Celtic, you know, after bouncing back from a pretty solid midweek performance against Atletico Madrid. A lot of people were in unison of saying, look, Hibs were not going to be the threat in this game, it was going to be Celtic's mistakes and Celtic's own team. And yeah, that's basically how it played out. I'm not really surprised about the fact that we didn't get the result that we were wanting. Obviously, any 3-point result would have been better than a 1-point result, but to be quite frank, it was something that I was half expecting. If I was live, I would have predicted that we would have won the game 1-0, because that's what I thought was going to happen. I knew that the energy wasn't going to be all there. I knew that players like Palma and Paulo Bernardo, they'd still be a little bit kind of leggish, so they wouldn't do the usual things that they are good at. Bernardo wasn't particularly impressive, I'll just say that out the gate. He very much isn't the Hatate type of replacement. He's not that like for like switch, and it butted us today because Hatate usually pings the ball out to Palma and cuts out those needed, one-on-ones that Palma isn't necessarily good at, but because he had to take his man on more often than not, he just never really wanted to knock it past his man and cause chances. And yeah, look, we had a couple of really good opportunities in the game. I'm not going to sit there and say that we didn't, but the fact of the matter is no one played out their skin. No one really wanted to carry the burden of being the main man today, which is a surprise because you'd think, again, after the midweek performance, the really solid performance, the one that gives us a lot of positives for the rest of this season going forward, to back it up with arguably one of the worst performances. And I know that we've lost to Kilmarnock this season, but at least when we lost to Kilmarnock, they dug in and fought and forced us to play. Hibs did not do any of that, and the fact of the matter is, if Hibs actually attacked, if Hibs went for it yesterday, they would have won. And I don't even say that in a half-hearted manner. If they had went for us, they would have won the game yesterday, but thankfully for us they didn't. They only had 7-8 shots the entire match, and I believe only one of them was actually on target, and they weren't exactly great either. So when you look at it like that, I think a point would be fair enough, but when you consider the fact that we had 4 or 5 times the shots that Hibs did, it was not great. And I think the one big thing for me is, well, the substitutions. I'm sorry, but for me personally, when the game was killed, when the whole idea of us getting the 3 points died, and I remember lying on my bed, literally sweating my panning, watching it on my TV, and they make the worst substitutions I have ever fucking seen. Because we bring off 3 players that were having a relatively okay-ish game, not a great game, but an okay-ish game, and our replacements for them were fucking Johnston, Turnbull, and Forrest. I believe it was Forrest anyway. And that really summarises it. If you're bringing those 3 players on when you're trying to chase a game and get 3 points, you're not going to get it with those types of players. And I understand that squad depth is a big issue for us right now. I get that, and obviously with Hatate being injured for the 2nd time this season, which really isn't good for him, and Abada's still out injured, we didn't really have those reliable starting options that could cause a lot of problems. And thankfully for us, Hibs didn't really come out and give us any pressure. And again, I was going to stream this. This was all here. I literally made the thumbnail for it and everything, which will now probably be repurposed, and it will just say game review instead of, you know, live watch along or whatever. But still, I said that I was going to at least try, because yesterday was the first game that I've missed since I started streaming, at least unintentionally. So yeah, this is more or less just a small way to be like, hey, hello, hi, I'm not dead or anything. It's just that I'm obviously not 100%. I don't know if I will be live for the game on the 1st. It will just really depend if my voice picks up and if I don't feel as miserable. But if I am, you can expect to see me live on the 1st as well. So I'll put the actual time and date and all that up on this little part of the screen here so you can look. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, which is very unlikely, but if you've managed to watch it this long, thank you very much first of all for watching and supporting. It's always very kind of you, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to see you on the 1st for a good old-fashioned bounce back performance, because realistically it's quite apparent that whenever I miss a game we just don't perform. If I was live we would have won that game 6-0. But yeah, I've been Kikazian, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Cheerio.